Hey out there, Facebook land. Welcome to another Tea Time with the Judges. We have a very special talk for you today. It's about one of my favorite weeks of the year, and that is Turkey Day.
Well, it's only one day, it's not a whole week.
Right, but it's my favorite week of the year. Thanksgiving week.
Yes. We love Thanksgiving, we love the food, we love the family time around it and everything about it. If you don't know who we are, this is Dr. James and I'm Dr. Kalie, and this is
Tea Time with the Judges. So we're going to go through how to make your Thanksgiving a little bit more healthier this year. We're going to try to take things like turkeys that have been conventionally raised out of it. We're going to take things like excess sugar out of it. We're going to take things that have been processed out of it. Things that come in packages out of it. It might be a little bit more difficult to prepare, but it's going to be much better for you and your family the day of, and all of the leftovers the remaining days after. We're also going to go through what I do with those leftovers, like the carcass of the turkey, what we turn that into. I know that sounds gross, but the result after I use that in a soup is just one of my favorites. Yeah. Better even than Turkey Day.
I remember when a few years back we started making the transition from the traditional Thanksgiving meal to trying to implement some of the things that we are going to show you today. And I remember we literally had like 2 different Thanksgiving meals for the people that weren't ready to make that transition, and then those of us that were ready to start eating the stuff that we were supposed to be eating. So it's a fun, if you're walking this journey, just know that we've walked this journey already and we continue to walk it every single day. And again, this is our favorite time. We both love to make food, we love to eat food, and we love to try new things that taste delicious.
I want to go through some wives' tales, some things that people may think that turkey does to people. Before we go over all of these things, we've come up with 7 different things to help you make your traditional Thanksgiving untraditional. But what are some wives' tales that you hear about turkey, and how can we debunk those?
Well, a lot of times after you eat, I ate so much turkey I have to go take a nap because I'm so tired. So the turkey makes you tired.
Right. And that's caused by tryptophan, which is in turkey, but I eat turkey probably once a week, and I don't have to go take a nap after I eat that turkey. So why on Thanksgiving Day do people really have to go take a nap afterwards?
Because they get a plate that turns into a mound with mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes with sugar and marshmallows, and then green bean casserole, and at least 3 rolls because 1 isn't enough, and then turkey, and then they put gravy all over it, and then the cranberry sauce and the stuffing. So that's more food than somebody would eat in probably like 3 days.
Right,
usually.
Exactly. So what happens is you're eating a tremendous amount of sugar, and that sugar has to be converted into fat, or else it's going to kill you. So your insulin levels spike, and then your energy levels crash because your body has to digest all that food as well. And then you go back for desserts an hour and a half later, and you eat more sugar. And then you go back on the couch and watch your football, or wake up 3 hours later and wonder what the heck happened to you. So again, we want to reduce the sugar intake, and yes, I'd say it's okay to eat some sugar on Thanksgiving Day, but the tremendous amount of sugar that people are eating is just way too much. So let's start, okay, because this might take a little while to get through here, but I'm going to go through this. Dr. Kalie is vegan most of the time, except for some turkey days. She will splurge on that.
I won't eat the turkey, but I'll have the soup after that you're going to talk about.
The turkey soup.
That's my favorite.
Yes, there is turkey in the soup, so technically.
But it's not like chomping on. Like,
anyway, we want to make sure we get organic turkey. What does that mean? It's not just organic, it's organic, free range, and it's not fed any grain. So they want to be sure that it's free range. So I have a tradition every single year where I literally drive about 45 minutes away, and I call ahead of time, and I say the size of the turkey that I want, the pounds that are there. I forgot the pounds that I usually get, but I think it's 10 to 12 pounds. And then I drive down there. On the way there, there's an amazing meat market that I go to that I pick up some beef jerky and other natural, healthy, organic stuff, some of it not so healthy. And I go into this old farm, and literally there's a line out the door, and I wait there for about 20 minutes. I pick up my flash frozen turkey. I pick up some herbs that they've grown in their garden, the rosemary and the thyme and stuff that's fresh, and I come back and I put it in my refrigerator a few days before Thanksgiving, and by the time I open it on Thanksgiving morning, it is ready to go. So it's much different experience, and I think that most people, they're lacking experience today when we talk about even depression and anxiety. It's like, I love and I look forward to doing that. You know, it might take me 2 to 3 hours to make that happen, but it's an experience that I enjoy every single year. It's much different than going over to a grocery store, picking up a packaged turkey that's in there that's been, you know, farm or not conventionally raised, and steroids and hormones and antibiotics are added to those things. It creates an imbalance in omega ratios, and it causes more inflammation in your body than you should have because it's not prepared naturally.
Yes. So there is the option too. I know that a few of the stores around here, they do have the organic turkeys as well. If people aren't wanting to drive and do the 2-hour tour to get the turkeys, I think that that's the best option because it is like they literally are raising the turkeys and making the turkeys available for you in the same location.
Yeah.
So I think that's the best option. However, places like Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Fruitful Yield even has some turkeys. We've got a couple people that work at Trader Joe's, and they're like, man, we're just stocking these turkeys right now, and we can't keep them on the shelf. So, but make sure that you're getting the organic, free-range turkeys that are for sale out there.
If you're local, the farm that I'm talking about is called Undessor Farm. Undessor Farm, and it's in Yorkville, Illinois. So if you're local and you're looking for a place like that, it's amazing. Drive down there and check it out. They even go so far as to picking out the actual turkey, and they'll tag it for you.
If you want to go ahead of time.
I don't do that. I just say, like I said, the amount of turkey that I want and go there that day.
So how do you prepare it then? In our Maximize Living Nutrition books, there is a great holiday roast turkey recipe on there, and it tells you everything that you need, and this is what we use every single time that you guys cook the turkey. I think it's great. It smells delicious. One thing I want to add is that most of the time, or what we even used to do, is get the tinfoil tray and then put the turkey inside of a plastic bag. If you think about that, the plastic bag is giving off fumes that are going to be going into the turkey, so now your organic turkey is ruined. So what we recommend is getting a roaster pan, like a regular one that you can use over and over and over again each year. And then we use a cheesecloth to wrap it on top to keep the moisture in and get it nice and soft and juicy. And then it still gets it crispy on the edges like you really want it to. So that would be my one big tip for cooking turkey is a regular roaster pan and then the cheesecloth that you can get almost anywhere.
Yeah, I like to put the oil that I use, the coconut oil, into the actual skin. So I lift the skin up and I literally coat the skin with oil, and I put some herbs in that oil. Coconut oil isn't as tasty as olive oil, but you're really not supposed to cook olive oil, so I've made it. There's an herb thing that I pick up at a local store, an herb store, that I just mix up in there and put it under the skin so it gets into the meat, and it's great. And along with Himalayan sea salt, that thing comes out smelling amazing.
Delicious.
Any other tips and tricks on the turkey?
I had to get you that shirt. So.
I don't know.
No, I don't have anything for turkey, so we can move on to
Stuffing or
dressing.
Dressing. Luke
The
likes to call
ultimate
it
debate.
dressing. No, I like to call it
Yeah,
dressing.
Stuffing.
He calls it stuffing, although it doesn't ever get stuffed into the actual turkey. So you guys can, formulate your own hypothesis on that and come up with your own conclusion. But I call it dressing if it's not stuffed. If it is stuffed, then I guess it would be called stuffing. So how do you make a healthier version of dressing or stuffing?
So I came up with two things, and I'm getting a lot of these recipes, if they're not in our nutrition book, I'm going just straight to Pinterest and typing in either paleo or keto Thanksgiving recipes. And there's like thousands to decipher from, so I've only picked just a couple of them. And there's a paleo recipe right here, and it's got the spices in it. It's got an apple, Granny Smith apple, celery, onion, almond flour, sea salt, and then ghee. And then it goes through the whole entire recipe and how to do it. And then also I found another one that I think we should try, and I haven't seen it, but it's cauliflower stuffing. So that sounded like it would be a fun new thing that we haven't done. But again, it's just got carrots, celery, cauliflower, mushrooms, onion, parsley, rosemary, sage, sea salt, butter, and then vegetable broth, and you just mix that all together. But that sounds
So what are we
awesome.
removing from traditional stuffing?
The bread.
Yeah.
The bread. We did one year make it with Ezekiel bread instead of regular bread. That was good, but it still gives you that like super full bread feeling. So we're trying to stay away from that as much as possible.
And it's still grain. Grains turn right into sugar, you know, when it's converted in your body. So you might not think you're eating that much sugar, but the breads, that you know, the rolls, the stuffing, all that stuff accumulates, and you know, the more that you can take out, the better that your body will love you for it.
So try to stay away from as much bread as possible. You can still even make like you can look on here for like coconut flour bread rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So you could use that instead of the regular bread rolls that you have. You know, Pinterest might be your best friend this holiday season if you're really wanting to make a difference in your meals.
You know, what I would recommend in all these recipes is doing a trial run before you get to actual Thanksgiving Day and mess it all up and your family hates you. So just pick a recipe per day before Thanksgiving comes. That's why we're doing it a week in advance here. So you're prepared, stay prepared. Prepared for it, and you know exactly what you're going to do. So if you mess it up the first time, try it again, change some things around, and see what works for you.
The cool part about this is that some people probably didn't even think about having to not do a traditional Thanksgiving. So I think this is going to hit home for a lot of people today. Fun fact about me is I love mashed potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So I love actually anything potato. So that is something that I have to work through on a personal level. And when it comes to Thanksgiving, we do mashed no-tatoes. So we use cauliflower instead of using potatoes. And it is just as delicious, just as great, and it satisfies my potato cravings.
Yeah.
So I get through that. That is also in our nutrition book. You can also look it up on Pinterest. I saw a few recipes there for cauliflower potatoes, which is a really good thing.
I actually think that these no-tatoes made with cauliflower are better than actual mashed potatoes now, because I don't know, I just changed my mindset with that, and it's actually, there has more flavor. I actually made that for breakfast today. There's a lot that you can do with cauliflower to kind of soup it up, make it great. So basically what I did today is I blended a bunch of cauliflower in my Vitamix, and I put it on the pan, and I heated it up, and then I put 3 eggs, and I whisked them up and put them in there, so it's just this amazing, you know, so we split it in half. So I added an egg and a half plus a bunch of cauliflower curry and a bunch of different other spices on it, and it was great, and it was easy. So yes, just be creative with what you can do with cauliflower and any vegetable.
And again, if you're using the cauliflower stuffing in this one, you know, that might be a lot of cauliflower, so you might want to think about that, using the other stuffing recipe with that. So real gravy. So when we were growing up, Mom used to get this container and use the juice from the turkey and put the, I don't know how it actually turned out, but it was really good. However,
great. It's all, you know, you look at the packet and it's all chemical stuff. So again, we want to reduce the chemical intake as well. And if you get this right, like I said, it might take longer than expected, but you've got to pick somebody in your family that can really stir this stuff for sometimes a half hour, but you know, put some music on and make it fun.
So this is just literally using the turkey broth that's coming from there, so she got that part right. Then they're doing butter and parsley, rosemary, sea salt, and then glucomannan powder, which I went and searched Dr. Ash's website, and it's actually a really good type of powder because I've never seen it before, but it comes from a root. So that's going to be like the thickening agent for the turkey. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try...
Gravy.
Yeah, excuse me, gravy. I'm going to try to put all these links in the comments below because I know that you're trying... I made a page on my Pinterest page, but I think it'll be easier if I just throw these in the comments. So just hang tight for a little bit. We'll get them into the comments afterwards. But that's going to be good, you know, and you can just kind of get it to your likeness, and it'll be yummy.
Hey Tammy, good to see you out there. If you're liking this so far, please share this and like this so people out there can understand that you can actually have a healthy Thanksgiving meal. So yes, real gravy, if you do it right, then you can't really practice this because it takes the juices of the turkey to make this stuff. So maybe you want to make a little small turkey and make it happen, but it's not really that difficult. It just takes a longer amount of time.
And you just have to have an open mind walking into the whole thing of it's an experience, and it's going to, I promise you, it's going to taste different than what you're used to. But that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Like, we have come to love the good version of Thanksgiving, rather than the bad version.
Once we flipped our mindset that we're eating to live, not living to eat, then it completely changes what we're doing. So, awesome.
Now, number 5, cranberry sauce. It's not one of my favorite things, so I never really did much with it, but I do know that it's some people's like staple things. So it took me a while to find something that I would, if I was making this is what I would do. It says 12 ounces of cranberries fresh, a half a cup of honey. So this, yes, it is sugar, but it's better sugar. We would use the raw sugar. And then 3/4 cup of orange juice fresh. So that means not going to the store and getting a container of orange juice, but what I would do is get actual oranges and squeeze the oranges and get the juice from the oranges. That's going to cut down the sugar intake and the processing that goes into that. So that's only 3 ingredients, and I mean, I probably would eat that and like it.
Cranberry sauce.
Sauce.
That's the non-traditional
That's the French
way
version.
that you spell sauce.
That's the French version of sauce.
Sauce.
Our writer didn't quite get that one right.
Before we move on, another thing that we talk about is what do we call it? Candied yams. I don't think we wrote that on here, but most people take these sweet potatoes and they cut them up, and then they put a bunch of sugar on top of it with brown sugar, and then they put marshmallows on top of that. And candied yams are, that's why they call it candied yams. They're candying yams, but there's so much sugar in yams to begin with. It just doesn't make sense to add so much more sugar on top of that. So I don't know if you can quickly.
I did. Well, I saw them. I don't have it like available, but they were just doing regular cut up sweet potatoes and then putting some stevia in there and letting it happen naturally.
But if you love those things, again, make them before and look up a paleo version of candied yams or sweet potato.
Yeah, you guys will be surprised what you can find on the Pinterest.
This is my favorite meal of the year, pumpkin pie. I can literally sit there and eat the whole thing.
And he has.
So, and then we came out with the healthy version, so I can eat 2 now. Just kidding.
2, not slices,
1 or
whole
2.
pies.
Yeah, whole pies.
So,
seriously,
again, this book is going to be your saving grace. This should be like what you guys walk around with for everything that you do, because it has the pumpkin pie recipe in there. A patient
like this if you like pumpkin pie.
likes pumpkin pie. Let's get some hearts across the screen. I had a patient just come in and they were like, I have to get used to that flavor of the stevia. And yeah, you do. You might want to be eating less. This whole thing is going to actually probably make you eat less than what you're normally used to, because it's not a bunch of processed foods with a bunch of sugars. So it's just an interesting whole thing. So in here is the pumpkin pie. There's no sugar. It's made with stevia and pumpkin puree, almond milk, and then the almond pie crust, which is in a different recipe. So they're teaching you how to make the pie crust and then also make the pie that goes inside of it. So it's good stuff.
Awesome. Green bean casserole. This is also one of my favorites, and we make this the healthy version. It's actually better than the version. Excuse me, the version that we used to make. So go ahead and go over the green bean casserole.
So I had 2 that kind of popped up for me, and let me just pop this up. Take a second. And it looks like delicious. So it's yellow onions, coconut oil, parsnips, mushrooms, garlic, nutritional yeast, water, sea salt, and green beans.
Awesome.
And that just sounds like delicious. So there's no cheese in there. There's no even milk in there. Nothing bad to go in that to make you have a bad day.
Awesome.
It's just only going to make you have a good day.
So let's now go through, before this happens, when the turkey's in the oven, what are some healthy activities the family can do? You got that there. So we're on the same wavelength here, right? But what are some healthy activities? We've started to implement this as well during our own traditional Thanksgiving now, but you used to wake up, you used to go down to the kitchen and just stir things around and maybe start having glasses of wine and just do nothing. but we've implemented some activity during the day in the morning to make sure that we're counteracting the negative stuff that we're going to put into our bodies at night.
So for the last few years, we've been either going for a hike or going for a run. Last year, we all got our running gear on and went for the little turkey trot.
And I have to tell you, it was blistering cold, but it was one of the best times that I've ever had on Thanksgiving Day. I think it was a 5K, 6 miles.
It was a 4.1 mile run.
4.1 mile run. But it, took a half hour, and we were done, and we felt great at the end of it. And we came home, and we had some food, and we spent the day together, and it just started the day out perfectly.
So then you don't feel so guilty when you do actually indulge in some of this stuff. We'll be on the beach this year, and we're going to go for a run together.
I'm going to take my whole party down to the beach, and we're going to do some sprints back and forth. It's going to be great. And then we're going to enjoy Thanksgiving.
For the holidays, so figure out something that you want to do, whether it be going for a hike. One year we were in Tennessee, so we got up, we started the turkey, got our gear on, and we went for an hour-long walk.
To the top of the mountain and back, and that was still great because we're still with family.
And so figure out what it is that you want to do, whether it's maybe going for a walk or doing a run, or sometimes if you have people that are more active than others, you can sign them or get them to sign up or you can sign them up for the run, and then you guys can all go for the walk and kind of just be a part of it and make it a family tradition to be able to do that. Drink lots and lots of water leading up to it and the morning of, just to kind of get your digestive system moving and get it flushed out. Eat well leading up to it. Don't kind of make it a Thanksgiving week where you are indulging in just a bunch. One year we just went overboard with life.
Too crazy.
And we probably won't be doing that ever again. So you learn lessons too as you go, and then it's one meal, not the entire day. So not the muffins in the morning and the biscuits and the this and the that throughout the whole day. It's literally just one sit down, amazing meal with your family to love.
Get the family involved with making the meals as well. So I would assign somebody a certain recipe to make so they feel like they've contributed to the whole event. So it's not one person back there slaving, it's everybody. Get them in the kitchen, get them, hey, you're responsible for this, make sure this is done. You're responsible for the green bean casserole, make sure that's done. Hey, you're responsible for the pumpkin pie, this is what I want you to do for that. There's a leader, and then you've got your little crew making it all over the place. Get them involved, and it just makes Thanksgiving Day that much more enjoyable. Cool. Anything else? Any other pointers?
Just having that one chief to get everything going. It's good. Enjoy the process. The thing is too is that Thanksgiving really isn't about a meal. It's not about turkey. So remembering what Thanksgiving is about, and making it a conscious activity to sit down and say, hey, what am I thankful for today? What am I thankful for this entire year? And what do I have to be thankful for moving forward? So just kind of sharing, maybe that can be your activity after your run or your hike or whatever. You just kind of sit down and say, hey, what are we thankful for as a family? What are we thankful for as individuals? And just really bringing to light Thanksgiving and remembering the thankful part of Thanksgiving.
And we love to do that before our meals. We love to go through person by person with the meal on the table. Quick, just something quick. Hey, what are you thankful for this year? And really that's the whole purpose of this whole Thanksgiving tradition. It's not the turkey, it's not the green beans, it's not the pumpkin pie. It's giving thanks for what we are blessed with each day. And that's relationships, and that's love, and that's light. And that's what this whole thing is all about, helping you experience love, light, and become your best version of yourself. So what I would do now is just start planting seeds. If you've got people coming in from all over the place, if you've got visitors coming, say, hey, we're going to do a little bit different Thanksgiving this year. It might taste different, but it's going to be much better for us as individuals and as a group.
Even if you didn't want to go like all in, and you just pick a few of the different recipes to try instead. Like I said, the first time we did it, we had literally 2 different Thanksgivings. So if that's a possibility, go ahead and do that. Or just pick you know, I'm going to do this type of stuffing without the bread than what I would do normally, or I'm going to try some mashed no potatoes instead of the regular potatoes, or I'm definitely going to do the organic turkey because I know that how bad hormones are for my body.
I'm going to stop putting marshmallows on top of the yams this year and brown sugar. You know, even if it's just that little bit of a change, it's a huge difference.
Yeah. So we love you guys. We'll be back. Friday's going to be kind of tough for us to do 5 Essential Friday, but maybe we can.
Friday, we're going to try to do 5 Essential Friday. We'll be
One of us will
traveling, might be doing it in the airport or in a car, who knows, but we're on our way to Costa Rica for a beach Thanksgiving next week. So we're going to also try to do tea time next week, the what to do to help you stay on track during vacation time as a group and as individuals. And then Friday, again, 5 Essential Friday is going to be a little bit more difficult to do, but we're going to try our best. So, thanks, guys.
The timings might just be way off.
Yeah, if we don't hear from you or see you next week, then have a great Thanksgiving. Eat well, live well, laugh well, love well. Have an amazing weekend.
Happy Thanksgiving.